Hi, welcome back to Quick Business Tips, where we have simple business growth for the human behind the brand. I'm Jennifer Swineford. Now, if you've been in business for very long, I'm sure you can relate to that feeling when your phone gives you some kind of notification. You glance down and you see a particular client's name. Maybe it's in your inbox, on the caller ID, or in a text message notification. Your stomach just drops. Your shoulders get so tense that they go almost all the way up to your ears. And this wave of exhaustion just hits you before you even read the first word or pick up the phone. Because for values-driven business owners like you, this is one of the most painful situations to be in. As a values-driven business owner, you build your business on relationships and your deep desire to serve those customers. So when a client relationship turns sour, it can really feel like a personal failure. Maybe you've been in this situation and you've told yourselves, I just need to try harder. Or I told them that I would help them through this problem, or I would provide this service for them. So now I'm stuck and I have to see it through no matter what. And we end up putting up with situations that drain our energy, disrespect the boundaries that we've set, and maybe even start to hurt our team's morale, all because we feel guilty about the idea of walking away. But today we're going to talk about what to do when you're in these type of situations. It's going to be a practical guide for a graceful exit. We're going to talk about how to know when it's time to let a client go and when to push through, and the exact steps for letting that client go, but doing it with integrity, professionalism, and focusing on protecting your most valuable asset, which is your peace of mind. So before we talk about the how, we have to get real honest about the when, because bad client relationships hardly ever start out bad. They usually work their way to bad over time. So here are some clear signs that a client relationship, even if it's profitable, has become a drain and it's time to seriously consider letting that client go. The first sign is the one that we just talked about. It's that dread factor. When your emotional response to a client is overwhelmingly and consistently negative, you typically start to resent having to do work for them. You procrastinate their projects, and you no longer look forward to the meetings and maybe even dread them before they arrive. Your body is typically one of the smartest business consultants that you could hire. Far more intelligent than your brain. And when it's telling you no, and the sounds are that clear, it's really important that you listen. Now, what I'm not talking about is you had a bad meeting a couple times, but overall the client is good. Overall, you still enjoy them. I'm talking about consistently dreading any time you're spending with them or working for them. That is your body signal, not just a one-off, someone's having a bad day or you're having a bad day. The second sign is when their expectations for you and your business are consistently out of line with the scope of the project and what you talked about at the beginning. We often talk about this as scope creep. It's this constant sense of urgency from their side that doesn't match the reality of the project as you originally laid it out. Or the feeling that you just can't do enough to make this client happy. Because when a client's expectations are perpetually unrealistic, you're in a no-win situation. The way to avoid this from the beginning is to set very clear expectations and have that conversation as clearly laid out as tell me what your expectations are. Tell me what looks like success at the end of our relationship together, or 6 months from now, or whatever it is. But sometimes you have those conversations, you get clear on everyone's expectations, your client's expectations, and what you're going to deliver. And then your client's expectations start to change. And when this happens and you can't rein those expectations in and bring them back to that original conversation, that's usually a sign that it's time to consider letting them go. Now, the third red flag is being disrespectful on a consistent basis. Now, this can be as clear as day, like emotional abuse, yelling, using condescending language, belittling you personally or belittling your expertise, or oftentimes it's a little bit more subtle. It might be constantly questioning your invoices, even though you discussed pricing clearly before the relationship started. A complete disregard for your professional advice, or consistently showing up late for meetings, or doing one of those no call, no show situations. Now, we all go through bad days, and it's important to have a conversation in a I'm open to hearing what's going on with you kind of way. But when it's clear that it is just complete disrespect that is causing these actions, then that's just not the way to build a healthy business relationship. It has to start with respect. And once that respect is gone, that foundation of the relationship is broken, and there's not going to be anything else that can fix it other than rebuilding that respect if possible. So, those are the three main things that you could look for that are clear red flags. So, if you're recognizing any of these signs with your current clients, the next thought, because you are a person of integrity, is likely, is this fixable? Or maybe it's my fault. And this is a critical point. Now, to bring clarity to a situation that is often very emotionally charged, I like to use this very simple question. Is this a process problem or a people problem? Because a process problem is about a breakdown in systems or a breakdown in communication. Maybe you didn't clearly outline the scope, or you felt like you did, but there was misunderstanding on your client's part. Maybe you never established firm communication boundaries at the beginning of the relationship. I've talked about in a previous episode where I won't immediately respond to a brand new client because I don't want them to get used to me always responding immediately. I very strategically wait a few hours or even a day, depending on what they're asking for, so that they don't think that, well, she responded in the first 30 seconds on day one and on week one and on week three, so she's always going to respond within 30 seconds. So maybe you didn't establish clear boundaries because process problems are often a result of a lack of clarity. And these type of problems can be repaired. You simply need to have calm, direct conversations, reset expectations, and create new, clearer processes moving forward. Now, a people problem is different. It's a fundamental mismatch in values, respect, and character. This is when a client's being dishonest or when they're being emotionally abusive. This is when you've tried to reset boundaries and they continue to walk right over them. A people problem can't be fixed by using a better system because it's the people that's broken. So you could fix a broken system, but you can't fix broken respect. You can coach a client on a process, but you can't coach them on their character. Now, if you've determined that you have a people problem on your hands, then your only action is to prepare for a graceful exit. So once you've made this very difficult but clear decision to exit from a client relationship, it's really good to have a plan to execute it professionally. And I like to use this 4-step plan that makes the process smooth, professional, and as drama-free as possible. So step 1 is just to do the internal preparation work. Before you even set the meeting with the client, you need to get yourself in order. Review your contract, understand the termination clause, complete any outstanding work that's already owed to them, gather all of the files that you might have on them into a single folder that is ready to be handed over to them, and prepare any kind of final invoices or refund checks that need to be calculated. This allows you to start from a place of organized confidence. Step 2 is the moment that so many of us dread, but you can use a simple script to make it easier. This is when you set the meeting with the client, whether it's a call or a Zoom or in person. And the key here is to remain calm, clear, and blame-free. You want to lead with gratitude, state your decision clearly, outline the next steps, and then wish them well. You don't want to list their flaws, but you do want to give them a no-fault reason that is impossible to argue with. And my two favorites in this scenario is, after reviewing our work together, I've concluded that we are no longer the best fit for your needs going forward. It's one of those, it's me, it's not you, during a breakup. The second line that you could use is, as my business is moving in a different strategic direction, I'm having to make some tough decisions about the projects I can continue to take on, and go forward from there. Because these two phrases are professional, final, and they don't allow room for debate. You're also not placing any blame on them, and you're saying that you are the reason that this is ending. You'll also notice that no blame gets put on you either. Step 3 in the 4-step process is formal documentation. This protects you and your business. After you have a conversation, send a follow-up email clearly summarizing what was discussed and the offboarding plan moving forward. This is the way that you're able to get this in writing, it's dated, and if there are any kind of complex situations or any kind of contentious drama that's happening, you might want to consider signing a mutual release that is drafted by a lawyer to ensure a very clean legal break. The last step is the handover. You're going to execute the plan that you outlined, send them the files that belong to them, any final invoice or refund check, and answer any reasonable logistic questions about this transfer. Once that process is complete and the payment is settled, you professionally disengage from the client. This does not mean that you go on for 3 weeks or 3 months answering ongoing questions. You have given them everything that's theirs. You've given them a clear plan to move forward, and you have washed your hands of this client. The best part of this whole process is the part that comes next. Because once you officially end this draining client relationship, something amazing happens. You start to feel lighter. The energy and the time that you were spending on dread, resentment, and managing this difficult personality is now all back in your hands. Because letting go of a client that's not a bad fit is not a failure, it's a strategic business decision. You're protecting yourself and your team, your own mental health, and your creative energy. But most importantly, you are allowing the space necessary in your business for that perfect dream client to fill. Because the best clients can't find you if your schedule and your energy is being held hostage by the worst clients. So a graceful exit isn't about ending something bad. It's about creating space for something amazing. Now, the actionable takeaway for this week is to conduct a simple client energy audit. Take a look at your client list and ask yourself, when I see their name in my inbox or on my phone, do I feel energized or do I feel drained? And that simple question will tell you a lot. Now, maybe you're not a black and white person. Maybe it's a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being complete and total dread and 5 being complete and total joy. You would certainly like to see most of your clients in the 4 and 5 range, maybe a few leaking into the 3 range. The 1s and the 2s, you need to take a serious look at them and see if this is a process or a people problem. Navigating these type of situations can feel incredibly isolating. And sometimes all you need is a partner to help you see them more clearly and build the confidence that you need to act. This is something that I work with my clients all the time. So if you are facing a difficult client situation and need a clear, unbiased plan to repair it or gracefully exit from it, I would love for you to book a next level call with me. We can walk through all the specifics of your current situation and find the best path forward for you and your business. You will find the link in the show notes below. Because let's face it, as a values-driven leader, you have the responsibility to build a business that's not only profitable, but peaceful for you and your team. And you're not under any obligation to work with clients who drain your energy or disrespect you. And a graceful exit is one of the most powerful tools that you have to create a business and a life that you absolutely love. So until next time, lead with integrity, serve with heart, and keep striving for your own limitless impact.